Hello everyone, welcome back, hope you're well. Before I start talking, there's two pictures I want to show you. Here's the first one. Jo Cox. And here's the second. Sir David Amess. They have one thing in common. They were killed, murdered, both of them. Because somebody, somewhere, got the idea in their head that something was wrong about the ideals they represented. This isn't a game, everybody. This isn't a game. You know, I sit here on my YouTube channel every day and I criticize, I have a whinge, I call out. And every time I do it, I have it in the back of my head. There's nearly 156,000 subscribers. Thank you for that, by the way. But also I have in my head that everybody in all corners of this is a human being. They have families that love them. They have sons and daughters, wives, husbands, places they need to go home to. And at the end of the day, whether you agree with them or not, they are doing a job. That's what Jo Cox and David Amess were doing every day, and they paid the price. It's a very dangerous, very sick world we're living in right now. You know, I did this video the other day where I exposed a few things that are going on within Clacton-on-Sea that you might not necessarily know about. You could call it a political hit job, but really it was just calling it out for what it is. That doesn't make me think any less that Nigel Farage is no more human than you or I, and that he deserves the safety that you and I enjoy. What about this one? This is a video I did yesterday about the leader of Basildon Council being caught on camera, effectively defrauding the local election. He's just as human as me, just as human as you, and deserved of the right to exist, even though we may not agree with everything he says. The big problem that we have in this world is there are so many people out there that listen to politicians, listen to the likes of me, listen to others. You have it in YouTube, you have it in the media world, you have it in politics, no matter wherever you go. And they take to heart, to a very large degree, what is said to them. And unfortunately, every now and again, every once in a while, those feelings are acted on. And in some cases, with very disastrous results, very tragic results. I want to play you a video. Have a listen to this, and very much the end of it.
We will smash the gangs. We will crack down on illegal working. We will remove people with no right to be here. And we will secure Britain's borders. But there is a line, a moral line. And it isn't just Farage who crosses it. There are also people who should know better, sowing fear and discord across our country. And then when we call it out, they pretend that we're criticising reasonable concerns about immigration. We have seen that trick conference. So let us spell it out once and for all. Controlling migration is a reasonable goal. But if you throw bricks and smash up private property, that's not legitimate. That is thuggery. Thank you, Compton. Free speech, free speech. Free speech is a British value and we have guarded it for centuries. But if you incite racist violence and hatred, that is not expressing concern, it's criminal. And this party, this great party, is proud of our flags. Yet if they're painted alongside graffiti, telling a Chinese takeaway owner to go home, that's not pride, that's racism. And conference. If you say or imply that people cannot be English or British, because of the colour of their skin, that mixed heritage families owe you an explanation. The people who've lived here for generations, raised their children here, built their lives here, working in our schools, our hospitals, running businesses, are our neighbours. If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
Now, the part of those words, or the part of that speech that very much struck me, was the end of it. Words like, you are the enemy, racism, calling out Farage. Basically, anybody that doesn't agree with their term national renewal is the enemy and should be severely dealt with. I took that as an attack on England. I took that as an attack on the population. I took that as an attack on his political opponents. And the problem you have, of course, is that people will very much take those words to heart. I reported on this at the time and I called it out for what it was. Bullshit. Divisive bullshit. You know, in the English Constitution, there's nowhere does it mention race whatsoever. And yet they use it to sow division, discord, and political opponents are eliminated. Innocent people paid a price. No good. But what happened now, I want to show you this. It's very important, which is one of the reasons, or the primary reason I'm doing this video, particularly where a young man's involved. You'll see in a minute. There you go. You can read the headline there. Reform UK council leader physically assaulted in street. And straight away, Reform are blaming the Labour and the Greens. But again, as I pointed out, it's the feelings that are created by words that are said. Reform UK council leader George Finch and a friend have allegedly been physically assaulted in the street. Warwickshire council boss, Mr. Finch, 19. You know, at the end of the day, he's a 19-year-old kid, for crying out loud. I question whether somebody of that age has the relevant experience to hold a post like that, but he is there. He is doing it, and he's been put in that position. He was out with a female friend in Nuneaton on Friday night when the pair were attacked by a young man. The council leader was then allegedly labelled a racist and a fascist in a torrent of abuse. The alleged assailant allegedly then pursued the pair through the town before police were called at around 2 a.m. Officers have now launched a probe into the incident, while Reform leader Nigel Farage has waded in to back Mr. Finch. Mr. Farage has said the incident has left him deeply upset and warned the words used echo the Prime Minister's disgraceful attack on Reform during Labour conference week. Labour has condemned the attack, but has insisted it would be categorically incorrect to suggest that either Sir Keir or the party were responsible. At the conference, Sir Keir Starmer claimed that the Reform chief, who he labelled the enemy, doesn't like Britain and doesn't believe in Britain. The PM also accused the poll-topping party of wanting to turn this proud country into a country of victims. Reform's policy chief, Zahir Yousaf, then warned Sir Keir was absolutely inciting violence. Mr. Finch, after the late-night attack, has condemned how Reform UK activists at all levels are suffering intimidation and violence at the hands of left-wing instigators. He confirmed to the Mail that the incident caused no lasting injury. That's a saving grace, but came as a massive shock to me and my friend and was completely out of the blue. It's clear that the man who attacked us was wound up and sent into battle by the dangerous rhetoric of Labour and the Greens, he said. I'm extremely concerned about the state of political discourse in Britain. Reform UK activists at all levels are suffering intimidation and violence at the hands of left-wing instigators. The politicians they follow know this, but are willingly allowing it to happen. I have a duty to speak out and quell the increased threat faced by my friends and colleagues. Just days ago, Green boss Zach Polanski labelled Zahir Yousaf far-right and fascist. There you go, straight away in a BBC Question Time rant. Lovely pose there, by the way. And following the Nuneaton incident, Mr. Farage has condemned Mr. Polanski's wholly irresponsible comments. A Labour spokesman said violence, harassment, or intimidation is completely unacceptable, has no place in our politics or our society. Any such incidents must be thoroughly investigated and the perpetrators must be brought to justice. Warwickshire Police said the force was investigating an assault after receiving a call at 2 a.m. on Saturday in which a man stated he'd been pushed by another man in Nuneaton. And the Green Party as well have been approached for comment. Words have consequences. People listen, people act. You know, I don't like reform. I can't support reform. I've made that very clear on multiple occasions. They're not for England. They're not for the Constitution. They're not for the people. They are for the establishment. They are for the politicians from other parties that are flooding their ranks. But at the end of the day, each of them are human. They have families and they're doing what they think is right. Same with Advance, same with me, same with anybody else. And yet nobody seems to learn the lesson that words have consequences. And you get things like this happen to a 19-year-old. It's a very dangerous world we live in, folks. And I do wonder if we have to take pause about what we're doing and what we're saying. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.